Hey guys, Ben Swanson here at Wired to Fish. There are a lot of different rods and reels and combos out there on the market when it comes to ice fishing that cover a wide variety of different species, and it can be kind of overwhelming to pick and choose or mix and match between which rods and reels for whatever species. So today we're going to cover a bunch of different rods and reels and some combos that go all the way from your panfish to your more predatory fish. When it comes to panfish, there's a lot of different lengths and actions that you can choose from, but not all rods are created equal, right? So what I'm looking for is something similar to like a summertime rod. Really good bend, but also a really solid backbone. I don't want that to just be a rainbow. I want to be able to fight some fish, and I want to be able to really drive that hook home. And I'll show you another example of a rod with really nice bend. A little bit on the shorter side, but just like I said, you're looking for a really good bend, but also a solid stiff backbone. Drive that hook home, just like what you're looking for in the summertime. It's the same concept for ice fishing. And whether you're fishing panfish or larger predatory fish, length is something to consider too, depending on your environment. If you're outside and you're hole hopping a lot, fish with a longer rod. Or if you're huddled up in a wheelhouse, it's too cold outside to be outside, you're gonna want a shorter rod so it's not in the way so much, right? So length is another thing to consider. Do you spend more time outside hole hopping? Do you spend more time inside? It's all dependent on your environment. So one of the things that I always look for when I'm picking panfish rods is a colored tip, right? So this one has a little orange indicator right on that front guide, and this has a whole section of bright orange. That lets you kind of identify the bite when you can't really feel it, because oftentimes with crappies and bluegills and perch, it's pretty light, and I like to be able to see it. And so anything that's like a bright orange or a chartreuse tip really contrasts with the surrounding environment, so you can be able to detect those bites a lot easier. And you'll notice with these two different panfish setups, obviously one is longer, one's a little shorter, but one's an inline reel and we've got a spinning reel in the other one. At Wired, we use both of them. It's mostly a personal preference thing if you're gonna pick an inline reel or a spinning reel. Sometimes that inline reel can help mitigate line twist, so your jig isn't spinning, but it's all personal preference is what it boils down to. Like I said, we use both of them. They're both great. They're both just as effective. And another thing to consider when talking about ice fishing rods and reels is something for a dead stick or a set line. And this reel is a little unique. This is designed for a dead stick setup. It's got a fighting drag and a bait drag on it. We have this reel on more of a noodle rod designed for panfish. But that's not to say that you can't take this reel off and put it on a heavier rod if you're looking for walleyes or other predatory fish. And if you want to know more about this reel, we've got a video out there, catching crappies with it, that we explain exactly what this reel can do. Everybody should have some sort of dead stick setup on hand. It just helps get more fish on the ice. And if you're not really wanting to just be mixing and matching different rods and reels all the time, you could pick up a combo. This is a capture series combo. We've got a crappie panfish style combo and a walleye one. If you're looking to just pick up a rod and reel, spool it up with line and get out as quick as you can, combos are a great option. So kind of graduating from the panfish side of things, we're gonna move into a little bit more predatory fish like your walleyes, your pike, maybe your lake trout. Let's say you're going to Red Lake or you're going up to Winnipeg, you're gonna wanna beef it up a little bit more, right? So what I'm looking for is a little bit stiffer backbone. I wanna be able to have the advantage on that fish, whereas with the panfish rod, it's all about sensitivity, right? I'm not really too concerned about the sensitivity part of things when it comes to my walleye sticks and my pike and lake trout sticks. And then the length of the rod is something that I think about too. It's a similar concept. It depends on your environment. I might be targeting more eaters, or maybe I'm targeting more of a trophy size fish, and that's where you want to consider your different lengths and your different actions. A shorter rod's probably going to be better for those eater size walleyes, and obviously a longer, stiffer rod for those big ones. I'm going to lean towards spinning reels more than inline reels. They're just more tailored for that kind of thing. So maybe you're targeting some really big predatory fish. You're fishing super deep water. You're fishing heavy fish that are going on big runs. I'm really going to bump this up as far as the rod length goes, as well as my arbor size on my spool. Let's say you're talking lake trout. Obviously you're fishing super deep water. You're going to need a lot of line. They're going to go on a lot of runs. You got to keep up with that with a bigger arbor. But also something to consider, if you're out running and gunning for big fish, lake trout, pout, bigger guides, eyelets on your rod to mitigate that kind of freezing up is really something that I look into. But you can get super customizable with it. But in general, the fundamentals of it, I'm thinking longer rod, pretty beefy, and a much bigger arbored spool in comparison to maybe your smaller walleye rods or your panfish rods. To be honest, I don't think a lot of us, myself in particular, are going to be spending a whole bunch of money on different rods and reels for every different scenario. And if it's up to me, I prefer just having one rod that's kind of a good do-it-all. For instance, this is a 28-inch medium light. I think something like this can handle just about anything. Maybe not your big 40-pound lake trout, but for your panfish, you know, it's got a really nice sensitive tip. And then for your walleyes, it's got that backbone that I'm looking for too. So if you're a guy that's looking for something that's just more of a do-it-all rod reel combo, just a simple spinning reel, something to consider for sure. So we've emptied the rod box, we got them all laying out here, whether you're a crappie guy, panfish guy, walleye guy, anything under the sun. So hopefully this helps you when you make your next rod and reel purchase.